Alright, so I am on day 98 of 100 days of making webcomics. There are only 3 more days left of this, and I can't wait. Let's see here. I think we only need Raekwon for today. This page today may be all over the place because I kind of left it open-ended. This might be a little more unplanned than the average page that I work on is. Because of that, I have no idea how long this is going to take me. I didn't know what that was. It just went through the house. It was my air conditioner. Scared the hell out of me. Sounded like a ghost or something was just going through the house. Just to explain too, because I know these panels look extremely empty. Why with that color of the hair and nothing else? Basically what I'm doing is I'm blocking in the color with the character, because everything else is really going to be, for the most part, background art, and I like to sort of freelance and actually paint my backgrounds in. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but I don't have really good luck with drawing my backgrounds out, or actually like doing my backgrounds with like actual line art and whatnot. I don't like the way it looks. It just looks sort of bland when I do it, and it just sort of have a different type of life to it when I actually sit and paint them out. Which, when I tried to force myself to get better at drawing backgrounds, it was sort of by doing digital paintings. But as a result, my style of painting backgrounds differs from my style of doing illustrations. Like, the two don't necessarily mesh, or not that they don't mesh, they're not the same, but I sort of make them fit together with how I do my artwork. I don't know if I explained that in any way that makes any type of sense, but basically I'm trying to figure out a way to sort of balance the two into my style. I believe it fits because my artwork fits my comic, but and that also goes back into me actually planning out all my environments before doing the comic, which, now that this comic is almost finished, I can honestly say I didn't plan enough. I actually could have did more, because there was still stuff that I didn't take into account. I'm actually going to over plan for my next comic, because I think this time I might even do different angles of certain environments, just so I have as much sort of pre-rendered footage, Jesus Christ. But that's almost how I'm thinking about it, like doing a film or an animated movie or something like that. Having as many pre-made, pre-rendered assets as humanly possible, so I don't have to spend as much time drawing unimportant details in the story that I need to. There's really nothing in my mind like sitting up doing a bunch of just drawing of environments and stuff like that on top of what I already need to tell my story. Like, you're gonna be drawing enough stuff over and over again in the comic anyways, so just trying to make it easier on myself. And that also made a big difference in me actually being able to get this comic finished, which, while I still haven't yet, I pretty much assume that I will, considering this is the last chapter and I don't have much longer to go, considering I'm almost 10 pages into this chapter as well, and I just started it. It's still mind-blowing to me, but yeah, that pre-planning phase of my comic helped out a lot. I don't know if I would advise everybody to do that, though. I know my brain is a little different. I'm not going to say I'm the most organized person in the world, but I do like stuff to be sort of planned out as much as humanly possible. Doing all this extra environments and stuff like that was so helpful in the beginning. Well, the entire time of making this comic. What am I saying? I just thought about something. I may have a color palette issue. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But what am I talking about? I'm at the bridge now, so I think I need to figure out what's going on there. And not that I'm certain if anybody's really interested in this or not, but the way that the work on my story was I pretty much just sat down and thought about everything I would need to make the comic. So all the things that I needed to sort of tell the story I was trying to tell, and then the stuff that I needed for the comic itself. So I actually jotted down all of my backgrounds, all of my characters, and I just had sort of pre-made assets for each of those. I think when planning out my next comic, I'm gonna need a color palette, I'm gonna need facial sheets, I'm gonna need character turnarounds. I greatly needed that this time around. Sort of different angles and environments and whatnot. Yeah, all of that would be very helpful. And I know there's probably some people out there that looks at that as like overdoing it and not really creating your comic or whatever. Just the hell out of here. Like I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. I have a story to tell, and I need to tell it in as quick of a manner as possible, so I can tell my story to the best of its ability and move on to telling other stories. So that's my focus. I don't need to sit here and be worried about whether or not anybody approves of whether or not I'm actually creating an original piece of the comic or artwork or whatever by drawing each and every panel of each of every page of the comic. That's crazy. Especially considering like I'm still drawing it, like it's still my work. I'm just using the work repetitively whenever possible. I think even a reasonable person would admit that I can't just have pre-rendered shots of every single page of my comic. Like certain shots wouldn't even fit in certain panels. Like I can't do something like that. But the times when they're going to be used over and over, there's no reason to keep drawing the same panels out. Like my establishing shots, I can't even tell you how many times I've needed the establishing shot of Beaumont's throne room in this comic. I can't even begin to sit up and try to guess as to how many times I've actually used it. And it's like I couldn't imagine drawing that out every single time I needed that in the page of a comic. Like it's so ridiculous. The amount of time that I've saved just by using that one shot of that throne room and then moving on with the rest of the story. Like that's been huge. And besides, in my mind anyways, actually being able to get the comic done in the first place is the thing that in my mind separates me from being a pro or an amateur. Like that's the make or break thing for me. Can I get the comic finished? And if I don't think that I can, I'm kind of need to figure out how I get the comic finished, or I'm just wasting my time here. Or I'm just doing this as like a nice hobby or something. I'm not trying to take it serious. I'm leaving that there for now. I know this probably looks so freaking crazy because so much of my comic is being left empty right now. Also, I need to ask this question to anybody who follows webcomics and specifically uses Webtoon. I don't know what I've been missing lately, but I feel like there's this weird exodus of Webtoon that's taking place right now. And I saw Webtoon sort of trending in my feed on Twitter the other day when I was tweeting. I was posting a link to my webcomic on Twitter and noticed that. Does anybody know what's going on with Webtoon, if anything at all, or just some people that I just happen to follow on Twitter were just complaining about webcomics for whatever reason, or is there some controversy that took place that completely escaped my mind? Because I have no idea. Speaking of which, this weird phenomenon is also back where once again I'm getting subscribers to my old webcomics, and like I don't understand that. I don't understand why people keep subscribing to my old webcomic. And this is only on Tapas. This does not happen on Webtoon. And it's like not even that I'm complaining. I need to put something on there that says that that comic is complete even though the story isn't. So maybe that will Either that or just outright delete it so to deter people from following it. But I don't want to delete it because I kind of want people to still see those comics, even though they're not successful. At least successful in my mind. I still want people to sort of view them and take a look at it, but at the same time, people are subscribing to those old comics and they're not looking at Brainbuster at all. I mean, Brainbuster, oh my god. They're not looking at Infinite Uppercut at all. Like, that's the thing, they're subscribing to Afro Brainbuster. I haven't worked on that comic in, well, hell, I haven't worked on Shadow Assassins in like 3 years now, but I don't think I've worked on Brainbuster in like 4. Like, I'm not updating it. It clearly says that it hasn't been updated in years now. The story's not completed. The artwork looks horrible. It's like it's an interesting story, but hell, Uppercut is an interesting story. I don't understand why people are subscribing to those other comics and outright not reading Uppercut. Which I also take into account that Uppercut has a very specific kind of art style that I don't know if that's appealing to everybody or not. I need to switch those colors. But it's like, that comic looks bad. Like, Afro Brainbuster specifically looks awful. The work I did in Afro Brainbuster is the reason why I took the time to over-plan, if there's a such thing. I still say I didn't plan enough, but the level of planning that went into the making of Infinite Uppercut, that has honestly saved my life as far as this comic is concerned. I started doing that just because of how I went about making Afro Brainbuster. Because that comic is a disaster. I had no... And what I mean by disaster is, I think the story is interesting enough, but I feel like I write pretty interesting stories to begin with. But the artwork is just... And this isn't even me being hard on myself. Like, it's bad. There are outrageous line and anatomy issues. A lot of the lines look so stiff. Like, that comic looks like Shadow Assassins. There's still art issues, but I feel like you can still read it and appreciate how it looks to an extent and enjoy the comic somewhat. I don't know how you deal with Brainbuster at all. Like, I don't get how people are looking at that comic and as sloppily as it's done and going, I want to subscribe to this, and they're not looking at Infinite Uppercut, which is what I've now spent the most time on and is almost complete. And this doesn't mean anything, because who knows, later on down the line, people could just start subscribing to Infinite Uppercut out of the blue. Like, I don't know what could happen tomorrow, but it's still such a strange phenomenon. Why subscribe to my old comics that I've never finished? And I just noticed that the other day, because I got a new subscriber for Uppercut, which I appreciate, and then I looked and I had like 3 new subscribers for Afro Brainbuster, like 2 new subscribers for Shadow Assassins. It's like, whoa, what's happening here? And I know I probably sound like I'm so unappreciative right now, but it's like, you're subscribing. It's like, I feel like I'm letting you down by you subscribing to that comic. Like, I'm not going to finish those, in theory. I'll get to that in another video. But, like, those comics are undone. Something else that doesn't help too is my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle is @ShadAssassins. So to a certain extent, it makes sense in my mind when people still subscribe to that to a degree. It's like everything online sort of points to Shadow Assassins, even though I kind of don't want it to. But I did that to myself when I named my social media profiles after that comic. But the Brainbuster thing, like that, I don't get it. It's amazing. For as small as the detail in this is, and as far away as this is from everything else, and I'm still having to put all these small details into this comic, or this panel. Take this comic. I don't know why I just want to shade this on the wrong side, or do highlights on the wrong side of his face. So basically what I just did, a lot of the detail I just did on Raekwon is done on the wrong layer. And while I normally would fix that and go back and put it on this proper layer just so for like peace of mind and whatnot, I don't feel like going through all of that right now. I can make do with this. Some weird stuff going on with my selection tool right now. Yeah, some very weird stuff going on with the selection tool. This doesn't look like it selected everything either, but let's see. Oh crap. I'm not done with this page yet. A panel. Why do I call panels pages? I've now done this for almost 100 days. Like, why do I keep doing it? Also, I feel like now is a good time to remind anybody interested in checking out Infinite Uppercut to look at the links below and give it a look, give it a read. Would greatly be appreciated. And you can look at it on any site or any way you want to on any of the links below. Whether you want to pay for it or not, there's numerous ways to find it and numerous ways to read it. Just choose what's best for you. So I have to tell myself that too. As much as I work on my comic on YouTube, I don't really tell people to read my comic as much as I should. And occasionally I'll get the message from people asking how to read my comic, and it's like, you know, I really don't tell people how to do it, so can't fault them for asking, like, where do I go? I don't even remind people that there's links in the description half the time, so you need to get a habit of doing that. Save! Jesus Christ. Wow. I haven't saved in the longest time. I know there's an autosave feature on Photoshop. I've got to look into what that is. Maybe I shouldn't. This sounds crazy, but I'm one of those people that's sort of afraid of autosaves on sort of digital programs, simply because if I make a mistake and I didn't need stuff saved, I'm still gonna have to sort of start from scratch. If I've been saving stuff that I didn't want to save, but I didn't want to, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It's a weird concern to have, but I'd rather actually manually save everything when I need to myself, but it's just a matter of sometimes you forget. The danger of doing that, I guess. Alright, I'm almost done, I think. And for those unaware, or those who may not have read my comic yet, Funai is a character that appeared earlier in the comic. I can't talk now. And she's pretty much been dormant up until now. Just now starting to bring her back in. Okay, that's what the problem is. Why is the opacity so low? This whole time I've been sitting there wondering, why am I having to use this so many freaking times? What the hell is going on? Oh! That's fantastic. My computer's getting ready to shut off. Let me go right this second and get the power cord. So, excuse me for just a moment. Alright, and we're back. That was close. Alright, make a new layer, a new folder with a new layer, and do this a second time. I'm about to say I need a brush to sort of cover the sides, and I can't find it for whatever reason. I have to clean up all this extra blurring on the side. Okay. Don't want to be wasting all day with this, so let me cut the opacity up some. Alright. And I'm done with this page for the day. That looks disgusting. So I pretty much have like text and exclamation to sort of put in. Basically with this page it'll be a lot of onomatopoeia, but this is pretty much done. Can't get over how sort of gooey and disgusting that looks, but in any event, that's the page for the day. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and remember to, if you haven't, go in the description and check out Infinite Uppercut, read it for yourself. Let me know what you think of it if you read the comic, by the way, and you all have a good one, and I'm out.